Hey guys, so today I'm doing a little standalone tutorial on how to cut out and apply masking friskets, since so many of you guys have asked for this, and I thought this would make it a lot more accessible to many of you. I have this cute little illustration here, and I have my cut up, chewed up piece of masking frisket already taped down with washi tape, and I'm going to use an alcohol marker to quickly trace the outline. And masking frisket is a clear adhesive film that is very popular among airbrush artists as a sort of a stencil or a mask, as we're using it in this case. I am not a graffiti artist. I'm a watercolor artist, but I don't always have the best results with liquid frisket or with like latex based masking fluid. So I have found that, especially for alcohol markers, frisket like this is great. And you can get it at art supply stores, but I order mine off of Amazon, and you can purchase it in packs of like 12 sheets or in rolls. And when I reorder, I'll probably be getting a roll. And you can check my description below for links for all that. So now that we have the design cut out, the design traced out, it's time to remove it from the original illustration. Remove your washi tape and cut your stencil out from your frisket. And there's a couple ways you can do that. You can use an Xacto blade. You can use scissors. What I like to do first is I like to trim out my live area from the rest of the sheet, and that way I have a much smaller thing to work with. And please use larger scissors than these. These are just what I keep at my desk for convenience. They are not actually good scissors for this. They're little thread snips. And I recommend, if you don't have a cutting board, let me see if I can find some chipboard. Chipboard. You can cut it out with a blade, and I recommend using this for all of these like islands that need to be cut out. It might be a little too finicky for scissors, and I am using a swivel Xacto blade. I think you guys have seen me use it a couple of times in the past. So I'm going to cut out and remove all of my little islands before I cut out the whole illustration, because the structural integrity of leaving the illustration whole makes it so much easier to cut these islands. All right, guys, so we have our islands cut out. Now we can go in with our scissors and start cutting the rest of the image out. And again, I recommend you work with larger scissors than these. These are a little bit of a joke. And just work your way around the image however suits you. I'm sure all of you guys know how to cut something out of a piece of paper, so I don't know that I need to show you how to do that. So I'll check in with you guys once this is cut out. All right, now that I have it all cut out, it's time for me to remove this permanent marker, since I'm going to be working with alcohol markers today. And you just do that with some rubbing alcohol on a paper towel. It's important you do that before you start applying your alcohol marker, because it will run all over the place and ruin your illustration. All right, I'm gonna let that dry. And then our final step for this tutorial, applying it to our illustration. All right, so our rubbing alcohol has dried on our frisket mask. So now it's really just time to apply it. And the best way I have found that works for me is to do a couple of different tricks. First off, once we get it started, I like to work on it in pieces, but if you cut it, it can, your ink can leak underneath. your masking frisket, like the join lines. So I cut the paper so I can apply the paper in sections rather than the masking frisket. That means if I mess up, I'm not pulling up an entire thing. I'm only pulling up a section. All right, so right now we're focusing on the head and speech balloon. And if any of you guys happen to know of a brand of colored masking frisket that would be easier to see, I would sure love the tip because I have a really hard time seeing this. All right, so now we need to work on our next section. So now that the frisket is all properly applied, it's really important to burnish all of your edges. And if you have something like this little excess on the side of high, I don't know if you can see it because it's not colored frisket, you could use your craft knife and very carefully cut along the edge and then lift it up. You don't really want to score the paper, you want to score only the frisket. And you can burnish with your finger, or you can use a tool like the back end of your Xacto blade to burnish down your frisket. And this will help prevent alcohol marker or alcohol spray inks, whichever you're using, from seeping in underneath. Oh, see where it popped up like that? You can also use the back end of a paintbrush if you're having problems with it popping up like I just did. All right, so when you're finally finished using your mask, it's almost like magic. You can lift it up with some tweezers, which I don't have, and reveal the difference between the area you've masked and the area that's still live. And you'll often not get perfect masking just because liquids do tend to seep underneath frisket. And if you have found a frisket outside of liquid frisket that can completely prevent that sort of seepage, please do let me know. But for the brand I use, this is the best we're going to get. And if you do have some areas that you want to correct, you can either just color them like you normally would, because the alcohol in your markers will push a lot of that back, or you can use a colorless blender marker to push that back as well. Now, you see, we have a big mess, and that's easy to clean with just some rubbing alcohol in a spray bottle. I know I'm making a bigger mess doing this. especially if you're working on a surface like this Ink Essentials non-stick craft mat. So it doesn't stick, it doesn't stain. And I have received no compensation, no free product for saying that. I just know that as an artist, I was getting frustrated because when I used alcohol inks, they tended to wreck my workstation and could be a little bit difficult to get off of my table, even though it's a glass top drafting table. But buying one of these and hitting it with rubbing alcohol, which was what I was using on the glass top, makes cleanup a lot easier. So I hope my masking frisket tutorial was helpful for you guys. I hope it cleared up some questions. If you do still have questions though, please don't hesitate to send me an email or leave me a comment below, and I will get back to them and try to help you out as much as possible. If you enjoy content like this, please check out other videos in my alcohol markers playlist. And please consider subscribing to my channel for, at least once a week content like this. I'm constantly posting art supply reviews, tutorials, demonstrations, product overviews to try and help my fellow artists out and try to improve the art community. And if you really, really, really love content like this and you can't wait, you can go check out my blog, nattosuit.blogspot.com, where I have 7 years worth of this sort of content in written form. It would mean the world to me. I would really appreciate it if you took a moment to use one of those social networking buttons right below the video to share this to your feed so that other people who would enjoy this sort of content can find it. So I'm Becca Hilburn from Natto Soup Studio. I hope you guys have a great day. I hope I was able to inform, inspire, or educate you guys. I'll see you later. Bye.